Good morning, students. In previous lecture, we have seen overview of OS, that is the history of operating system. So the operating system first developed by the Microsoft, that is the DOS. DOS is a disk operating system, but it was a single user operating system. So the after DOS, a complete new system with a GUI, that is graphical user interface, is developed, and it was a Windows 3.1. But the Windows 3.1 again having some disadvantage. So that disadvantage is covered by introducing a new Windows operating system, that is Windows 95. So the Windows 95, it is the upgraded version of Windows which was launched, and after that the Windows 98, it is a new version of Windows was launched. So the new version of Windows, that is the Windows 98, it is a multitasking and again a GUI based operating system. Okay, so you can see some of the features of Windows 98. The first one, it is the faster operating systems. Means what? The Windows 98 includes the tools that helps your computers run faster as compared to the Windows 3.1 or as compared to the Windows 95. Then second one, easy to use. So these features makes your computers easier to use with some new and advanced features like multiple display support, power management, universal serial bus. So what is the meaning of multiple display support? So these features makes possible to use the several monitors simultaneously to increase the size of your desktop. Nowadays, in a companies, these features of Windows 98 is widely used. Then the second one is the power management. So nowadays, using the power management techniques, you can start your computer in just a few seconds, or you can restore all your programs where you left them. This is the meaning of power management. Then third one is a universal serial bus. So this facility provides the plug and play capabilities. So using some new standard connector, you can add the devices to your computers without having a restart. Then the other features of Windows 98 is what? It is the more entertaining and fun. So it makes your computer more entertaining by introducing the new features like television, video playback, or it also supports the new hardware. Then the Windows 98 provides the help feature. What is the meaning of help? So it is a very easier to use and find the answer to a questions quickly with the help of help features. This is all about the Windows 98. Why Windows 98 is more popular than Windows 95? Because it's having some features like this. Then another operating system is introduced by OS, that is the Linux operating system. It is a very popular operating system, and nowadays most of the companies use, or most of the company is based on this operating system. The Linux is developed under the GNU, that is General Public License, and its source code is freely available to everyone. So everyone can access the source code of Linux. Then Linux is an open operating system. Then it is used for the networking and software development. So the Linux may be used for the wide variety of purpose, including the networking, software development, as well as end user platform. And due to the very natures of Linux functionality and the availability, it becomes quite popular. Then the Linux is a reliable. The performance of Linux operating system is a good. Now it is a cost effective operating system as compared to other operating system. Then the Linux is a used in our industry. More and more companies are supporting the Linux via both application as well as hardware compatibility, because the Linux operating systems provides the application and hardware compatibility to the users. So the most of the companies use the Linux as a operating system, and this operating system is a very secure. It is a completely trouble-free operating system. So you don't have any issues with the viruses, malware, or speed of your system. Then you can see the feature of Linux. The first feature of Linux, it is a network-friendly operating system. Means what? It is a capable of act as a client or server to any of the popular operating system. Then it is a multi-user. The multi-user operating systems means what? The multiple user can access the system resources. So the system resources are like the user can access the memory, or user can access the RAM, or user can access the application program at the same time. This feature is provided by the Linux. Then the Linux is a open. Means what? We as a programmer as well as user have access to source code as well as right to modify. So the programmer as well as the user can access the Linux code and they have rights to modify it. The Linux is a free. So the Linux consumer is a free to modify the system. Then the most important feature of Linux is what? It is a security. So the Linux provides the security in a three ways, like authenticating, authorization, and encryption. Now, what is the exact meaning of authentication? So the authentication means what? It confirms or verify your identity. After authentication done, the user can authorize. Means what? The system allow user to access the application or access the system. Okay? It allows access to the system. That is the meaning of authorization. So whenever user is authorized means what? They can access the system. And the third one is the encryption. What is the meaning of encryption? Encryption means what? Converting your information or your data into the code. So why we convert the data into the code? To prevent the unauthorized access. Okay. So these features will provide the security. Your next topic is a file system. What is the meaning of file? It is a collection of related information. So the file can contain the program as well as data. Data in the form of numeric or alphabets. So the file system allows user to define the file and directories and allocate and deallocate the disk space to each system. What is the meaning of allocation? Allocation means what? You can access the data or you can access the information. And deallocate the disk space means what? You can free up the memory or you can free up the disk space. So the file contains the sequence of bits, bytes, lines or records. So the each files having its names with its extension. For example, in C++, you use .cpp as a file extension. In HTML, you use .htm or .html as a file extension. Okay, so the type of file is depend on the file, that is the extension of file is depend on the type of file. This is your file system. So the file system can contain some of the terms. That is, first one is a block. So block, it is a unit of data which is provided by the operating system. So normally the operating system also keep all its data structure in terms of blocks. So the operating system considers the number of blocks and where each block is having the one or more sector. So the sector means what? It is a subdivision of track. And what is the meaning of track? It is a circular path on a disk. So the sector consists the fixed amount of data or fixed amount of information. Then your second one is a disk. Disk, it is a main secondary device. So it is also called as a non-volatile storage device. So there are two types of disk is available. The first one is a floppy disk and the second one is a hard disk. Okay, so the main secondary device is also called as a external or non-volatile device. What is the example of non-volatile? That is your hard disk, your CD, your USB. It is the example of secondary device. So the non-volatile or the secondary device holds the data. Okay, and even if power is turned off, it holds the data in a securely. So the first type of disk is a floppy disk. So you can see the floppy disk, it is a made up of round piece of plastic material, okay, with a magnetized recording material. So the surface of floppy disk is made up of the concentric circle and that circle is called as a tracks. And the track is subdivided into the number of sectors. So the sector capacities may vary, but typically the sector can store up 512 bytes. You can see in diagram, the tracks are divided into the number of sectors. And in your diagram, you see the arm. What is the meaning of arm? It moves the head to the specific track. Okay, this is all about your floppy. Now the second one is a hard disk. So the like floppy disk, hard disk surface is also made up of concentric circles called as a tracks. So it also consists the read and write head for each surface which is connected to the arm. The arm can move in or out to position itself on any track. Then the hard disk contains the seek time. Now what is the meaning of seek time? The time taken to move to the correct track is called as a seek time. So whenever the head is moved between the tracks, then it requires some time to reach to the proper track or to reach to the required track. So that calculated time is called as a seek time. This is all about floppy disk and hard disk. The rest of the parts will covered in a next lecture. Bye.